Before we get into today's video, happy game month! Yippee! Yeah, I mean happy Pride month, but we're going to be talking about Jam today. Came out with the release of 2.0 and it's been enough time, so the question is she any good? Jam is a hardcore rushdown and wants to get in using any means necessary. She can run good high-low mixed offense, and with plenty of plus frame staggers to work with. She's a pretty simple character with the caveat of the occasional complicated thing, for example using your installed cards. This will make your special moves way better or enhanced, or do something crazy with them like a plus unblock low, and even get insane bombos, but she seems to have a big issue, which is she is stubby. She kinda has to throw herself at the opponent to actually make any of these stubby plays work out in her favour. Besides the synopsis that I've given you, we'll be getting into Jam in a bit more detail and explaining some of the potential that she has in this season. Jam does have some online tournament results like on TNS, but that's about it, and Queenco is one of the standout players on Jam right now. But we're going to talk about the things that make her strong before the things that could be an issue, and then kind of have a final discussion about where I think she is as a character. There's one insanely good positive about Jam that you need to talk about immediately. Her health is really good for a rushdown. Most rushdowns have a 1.10 defense modifier with like small guts or something like that. Or in Chip's case, you've kind of got like a bad defense modifier with decent guts to make up for it. Jam has a defense modifier of 0.95, which is really good, with 2 guts. So when she gets to low health, she's fairly tanky. It's kind of hard to kill Jam when she gets that health threshold. So amazing health values for a rushdown, insanely good. Frame data across the board is great, it's really good. A lot of her pokes are either minus by a minuscule amount, like 2S for example, and it allows her to stagger offense, because if something's only minus by a teeny bit, it means that you can go into the next button and interrupt someone trying to interrupt you. So 2S at a 5H is a great frame trap to call out mashers, or 2S at the throw is something you could generally do because it's only -2. And our glow slash is plus 3 on block. That is so bad guys plus frames. So Jam has really good frame data across the board. We're talking like -2, 3, 1, 2, 0, and a lot of her normals, like 5Ks is 0 on block. She has great normals with frame data. Mix-ups are the next talking point, and Jam has many a good mix-up tools to go to. Having 5 different lows, 4 of them being normals, allows for very good stagger pressure and offense. She has her special move where she'll flip called Chojin, which allows her to do any of her special moves that are high-low. High-low special moves are fuzzyable, so you can block low and then block the overhead, but they're very safe on block, making her unpunishable going for a high-low mix-up. Mix that with the fact that Chojin can be emptied for double overhead offense, she's a scary character. If you don't mash on her correctly, she can kind of get away with anything she wants, and that's what makes Jam kind of scary when it comes to mix. Neutral skips are also very nice. Having a low dash attack that lets her move in quickly and avoid a ton of highs, committal, but it's still a good play. And then the dragging kick with meter is a fantastic tool to represent. It's super quick, it puts her in the air, and it's just a hitbox that moves forward. You can't really interrupt her challenger, and with meter it's really good, as it goes from -23 to like plus on block. So it goes from being really bad on block, risky to use, to a fantastic option that just gets her in. Let's say she hits you, her combo damage is actually pretty high. It's not absurdly high, because again she has designed to be a rushdown, and a ton of rushdowns don't really deal a ton of damage. However, Jam can actually get very high thresholds of damage. With the right tools, for example the dragon kick being enhanced, or like the right combo starter landing like 5H or close slash, she can chunk your health. If she's doing her mix-ups, the damage tends to be kinda low. If she does the overhead or the low connects into a combo, it tends to be like maybe 15% at best. Damage is high on the right tools, and again, because she's a stagger character, she'll see that damage quite often. And if she hits you and doesn't break the wall, she has the next fantastic step, Oki. Her Oki is very good, with multiple safe jab routings, safe kick routings, and of course the plus on block low that she can do. She can actually use it as a safe jab low. So you block the low, plus on block she goes wild, and if you do a DP or a super, she blocks in time and punishes you. Very strong when it's enhanced. Her Oki is great. And of course, enhancing the specials is a main note that you have to talk about. I've brought it up a couple of times, but this is the main thing. Buffing the cards, as they're called, makes it so her overhead, her low, and her dragon kick gets super enhanced. Like mentioned, the low become plus on block, and it's very good on hit as it gives you Oki to go wild with. The overhead, becomes -5 with decent pushback, meaning you can't really be punished, but it becomes a bit more unreactable at 19 frames. So 17, 19 frames is the gap between the low-high, difficult and fuzzy, and the overhead does high damage as a combo starter now. So our mix becomes scary. It becomes very, very scary to block this character when she's enhanced, and then the Dragon Kick, as we know, is an instant wall break special move. If you use a combo going into her at the correct spacing, you'll get the instant wall break. It does a ton of damage, and because of how quick the combo is, it can beat the burst reaction point. So, not good to get caught by it. Lastly, our defense. Our defense is really, really good. Having solid 5-frame mashes to go for, or 7-frame kick is pretty decent, but the thing that stands out is her parry and her super. Her parry is good for specific matchups. For example, plays like Garuda into Garuda is now counterable, allowing her to escape the corner. Drone, a fantastic neutral skip for Gold Lewis, is now counterable, so she can hold the counter and then react to a button that Gold Lewis may press. It does come with the caveat that it doesn't lock your opponent down. If they're doing a good cancel that can make it safe, for example a 2p into a nothing or something like that, she can maybe get blocked and punished, but besides that, it's a pretty good tool. Super is such a fantastic defensive tool. Invulnerable, 10 frame startup, and insanely good reach allows her to interrupt a ton of block strings and get a wall break, as the carry on the super is so good. It's a good reversal to actually just escape a bad scenario and then put them through the wall for high damage and run Oki. And as we talked about earlier, she has safe jab set up, so if she gets the knockdown for the super, you gotta block high-low, and if you use a DP, you're gonna get baited. Key positives are really good. Her positives as a rushdown are what you'd expect, mixed with some unique caveats being the cards, of course. These are some of the issues that Jam may have in the current patch. Stubby neutral is a huge deal. In a game like Guilty Gear, you need some type of BS button or neutral skip to get started. For example, Ram's normals are very strong because of the reach on them and of course convertibility. A character like Potemkin is placed with multiple neutral skips like Heat Tackle or Hammerfall, and of course Gold Lewis has Drone. Looking at Jam, she doesn't really have anything like that in neutral. She doesn't have great poking, so she can't really get in easily through walling her way in. And her dash speed isn't that fast, so she can't really run in like Chip, making it so Jam is overcommittal in neutral. She has to use very committal plays to get in, like her dash low, like we mentioned, the Chojin flip, and the Dragon Kick RC. So when she gets meter, she's able to get in and run her offense, but that means meter can only be used for getting in, it can't be used for offense or combos, which is where Jam would also like to use it. So you're seeing some of the weaknesses here. Because of the dash speed, she can't whip punish. So if she sees a normal that was usually whip punishable, it's kind of difficult for her to do it, but she can do it, just not to the extent that Chip can. It's insane there were like 30 characters in and they're designing very unique rushdowns. Like, when is their next grappler? They're gonna kill it. Despite the fact that the cards are fantastic tools to enhance her neutral or offense to a great degree, they also have the problem of giving up Oki. Jam has some of the best Oki in the game, like we were talking about, having meaty lows and overheads that can be good for baiting DP or going wild, but having to wait in neutral or using your knockdown to get a card can be detrimental to running your offense. She's a very simple rushdown, but this card system can really hold her back or make it very easy for her to do what she wants. It's all about understanding how to do it, and using this in neutral is risky, using Oki is the best play. Giving up a turn can be a bit risky with this character. Now, Chojin the flip stance is a great offensive tool, but it comes with one massive issue. It's very mashable, so characters with good mashes that reach high will be able to deal with this stance very easily. Best examples I can think of are maybe like a Gold Lewis 2p, which is basically an anti-air, a Potemkin 5p, which is just an amazing button. Saw Bad Guy 5ks would also be pretty decent for this. You get the point. There's many ways to stop her Chojin offense, because if she does an empty, she'll block and be put into offense. If you're able to interrupt her before she could do anything, well, you've just kind of hit her for a counter hit into an anti-air starter. And as we know, these characters, when they use these buttons as an anti-air starter, is able to get a lot of damage. Flip stance is great, but it has to be used with a ton of restraint. You can't just go hog wild with it, as these characters can counter pretty heavily. Now, anti-airs, this is a huge deal. Anti-airs are a fantastic part of neutral and Guilty Gear, as you can block in mid-air, so you need good anti-airs. Jam, being a stubby neutral character, has difficulties walling the opponent down. She can stop your approach in neutral with a couple of her normals, but again super stubby, but in the air she can't really do a whole lot. Her 6p is stubby, but can air and can confirm, so that's decent. If she wants a normal that can reach far enough and beat you in the air, she has to play in the air herself, meaning her air game is now preemptive rather than just going there and challenging you. So it's a little difficult to stop aerial approaches as Jam. Against characters with slower jumps, it'll be a bit easier to deal with, but with characters like Melia, Chip, hell, even Kai in some scenarios, it can be very difficult checking it. Lastly, she doesn't really have disjoints in neutral. Characters with disjoints can get away with a lot of BS in neutral or even on offense, being able to poke safely and not really be challenged. However, if you look at all of Jam's attacks, it's all hurt boxes, so if there's a trade scenario, you're probably going to hit her and you're not going to hit a disjoint. Moments where she's walling you into the corner, for example, 2S is a good option, but a thing like a 5S or a 6K, something like that, can all be challenged because she doesn't have a button that she could just throw out there and not be challenged. Missing out in disjoints can really affect pressure and actually affect the neutral game plan. That was about all the positives and negatives that I can find through my own research. There's probably even more caveats, like how she uses meter, maybe meter dependent because she needs to use the Dragon Kick RC, or her lows being stubby makes it difficult to check walkbacks in neutral. It's like, you get my point. A bit more into it than probably what I've covered. But this is my opinion, this is my video. I'm the creator of this channel, I get to say what I want. Oh, an evil king, but it comes down to it, the convo is Jam decent in this patch? And I would argue she's pretty good. I don't think she's a top tier. I don't think it might be a bit of a stretch to say she's a high tier. I do think she could compete with the other high tiers. I just think as soon as a top tier comes into question, she has a difficult time. Whereas some high tiers can really stick it to the top tiers. So if I had to place her, I'd probably say she's a bit like maybe the top 15 portion of the roster. So she's got great potential and could do well in the tournament. Queen Kohan on lanes against some of the best competitors in NA has been able to prove that this character can work in a competitive environment. She'll struggle and some characters will give her a tough time, but because her game plan is so simple and being able to set up the cards, it's very intuitive to just get into it and play her character when offense is started. She can adapt to certain weaknesses. For example, DPing is a pretty huge issue for a lot of rushdown characters because baiting means giving up offense. Jam can still do offense and bait the DP at the same time. So you get my point. Jam has ways to deal with bad matchups and she has ways to be brutally offensive. I hope that has answered your question, how strong is Jam this patch? Again, top 15 is a bit my viewpoint, but there's so many characters with so many changes, it is hard to get through them all. Will we see Jam in an offline? Not too sure, not a ton of people are playing her. I do know that Tiger Pop's been experimenting with her, really wanting to make the character work, and of course Queen Koa has been a fantastic job in the character ever since Abba got nerfed. Like, this might sound a little fucked up. I kind of hope that Abba never gets buffed, because I want to see Queen Koa cook with Jam, if I'm honest. That's what I want to see. Again, if Abba comes back to her prime, I can't imagine Queen Koa sticking on the character. I hope you guys enjoyed as we covered Jam. I thought it was very fun. I think she's great. She's one of my favorites when it comes to the redesign. She's up there next to Eno. Bye. Jam is a pretty cool character. Top 15 for sure, and that's going to be it. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like, hype, sub, and tell me what you think about Jam in the current meta. Am I talking a whole lot of bullshit, or do you agree with my viewpoint? And that's going to be me, Panda, signing out, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.